Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into the 15th installment of the Christmas Countdown. So here we go again, it's time to bring you another episode of the soap opera that is the Gaz Lovers 2022 Christmas Countdown. And I shall get on it for you in a moment. Less than a week now until the big day. Wow, 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 wow. I don't know. So we'll have a look. So sorry, everybody. A little bit Christmassy, a little bit exuberant and that now. We're so close to it. So yes, I shall get on with it for you in a moment. Just to say that first video today was the 6 a.m. upload. We've got a Take the 14 day with all our break features coming up for you later on this afternoon. And that was, I'm going to be live streaming at 8 p.m. this evening. We're going to have our Monday live stream. Going to be live streaming Ensemble's Watch. It's back. So we'll have a look at that a little bit later on. I'll see you live later. Thank you so much, Richard, for our incredible Christmas Day updates gifts. Thank you so much, Rich. Love it. Love the gifts. Thank you so much, my friend. They've been amazing during this season of the Christmas updates. So thank you so much. Right, well, let's move over to Vatar then. And we're going to have a look at the latest GFS Midnight Run. Starting on the 23rd of December, going to run this all the way through to New Year's Day. Okay, so low pressure is dominating weather on Friday. The eve of Christmas Eve looking very unsettled with this area of low pressure in from off the Atlantic Ocean. Upper air temperatures generally mild through Ireland, England, Wales, but look colder across parts of Scotland there. And we've got outbreaks of rain here through Ireland, England, Wales. Some heavy and persistent rain in some places. Further north it's drier, but we have perhaps got some wintry showers across parts of Scotland. On the northern edge of this rain band, we have a boundary, possibly, particularly for Northern Ireland, there could be a little bit of snow. And the temperature on Friday looks really quite mild in the south, but around 10, 11 or 12 degrees there. 7s and 8s through the Midlands, and then we get Northern England, Northern Ireland, be around 6 and 7. Far north England into Scotland, it gets colder temperatures, only 2 or 3 degrees across parts of Scotland there. Right, so we go through to Christmas Eve, Saturday, and low pressure is pushing through the country. We're starting to dig this colder air from the north into the northern half of the country as well. The -5 Celsius, I suppose, begin to drift further south. It turns out the cold air is starting to move south as well. So basically the northern half of the country is cold on Christmas Eve. The southern half of the country still relatively mild, but cooler than the day before. We still have this band of rain marking the boundary between the milder and colder air. It's through Northern Ireland and Northern England, some heavy and persistent rain in places. Again, on the northern side of that wet weather, there could possibly be a little bit of snow if we get an undercut of the cold air. Scotland is drier, but we've got snow showers into northern parts of Scotland, and then the rest of England and Wales probably cloudy and damp, especially in the west and in the southwest. Still mild on Christmas Eve across more southern parts of the country. Hold on, hold your horses, that's wrong. So let's get the proper Christmas Eve chart up. There we go. Right, so this is the temperature forecast for Christmas Eve. Get that happen. And still pretty mild both down in the south. Temperature around 9, 10 or 11 degrees. The northern half of the country clearly looking colder. Scotland seeing temperatures hovering around freezing. Northern Ireland only at 2 or 3 degrees, as is much of northern England. So obviously it's turning colder through to Christmas Eve. Right, so this is how Christmas Day is looking on this 15th Christmas update. Messy picture, but essentially that cold air is gradually pushing further and further southwards as high pressure is building again in the North Atlantic. Upper air temperatures show that we're beginning to move from -10 Celsius iceberg into northern parts of Scotland. The milder temperatures with these yellow colours in the south begin to drain away as this cold air is working its way southwards. Outbreaks of rain, particularly in western areas, again, particularly through Northern Ireland. Could be very wet Christmas there. And as that cold air digs in, again, some of that could turn to snow through Northern Ireland, possibly southwestern parts of Scotland as well. Otherwise, a little bit of a drier scene for Christmas Day, with snow showers across the northern central parts of Scotland, some showery rain down in the south. A colder day, so temperatures still managing to get around 10 or 11 degrees in the extreme southwestern corner, but for Wales and the Midlands running around 5 or 6 degrees, and then we get into northern England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, both temperatures are struggling to get much above freezing. So Boxing Day, Monday, takes that area of high pressure and strengthens it around Iceland and in the North Atlantic, winds turning increasingly into the north. For Boxing Day, that sends this colder air south. This is a really cold air mass that's coming south across the country on this GFS run. By the way, by 10 cells iceberg pushing through Scotland into Northern Ireland, Northern England. So that will bring snow showers to northern parts of Scotland, probably snow showers running down the eastern coastal areas as well. Outbreaks of rain being pushed out into the Atlantic by that cold air. So most areas turning dry, probably with increasing sunshine. But it is cold on Boxing Day. Temperatures again through much of Wales and Midlands only at 2 or 3 degrees. Central southern England around 5 or 6. And then these temperatures are over, of course. It won't be as cold as this through northern England Scotland. But nevertheless, temperatures probably hover around freezing, stay below freezing all day, I would have thought, in the northern half of the country by Boxing Day. That's Tuesday, 27th of December, which I think is a bank holiday this year. So high pressure is blocking again out to our northwest wind, continuing from that cold north or northeast direction. All areas are cold by this point under that area of high pressure. There's snow showers running down the eastern coastal areas. Otherwise, mostly dry as high pressure dominating the weather. But a cold day, very cold day, actually temperatures hovering around freezing all day across much of England and Wales, and below freezing all day in the northern half of the country once again. And high pressure continues to rule the roost into Wednesday as well. Wednesday, 28th of December, a big area of high pressure in control of the weather. Upper air temperatures not quite as cold at this point, but still cold enough. Still cold, and further snow showers into northern Scotland. Probably wintry showers draped around the coast. Otherwise, a lot of dry weather. There'll be significant, maybe quite severe overnight frost. And temperatures by day, again, struggling to get much above freezing, especially in central and northern areas. That blocking area of high pressure continues to sit across the country on Thursday. Once again, we're looking at cold upper air temperatures for eastern air, becoming less cold with the upper air temperatures out in west, but that's just upper air. Down on the surface, nothing is happening to stir the air up, so actually on the surface it would still be cold. Further wintry showers around those coastal fringes. And another cold day as well, with temperatures again hovering around freezing, especially in central and northern regions. High pressure continues to dominate the weather through to Friday, 30th of December. Again, the upper air temperatures not as cold as they are just after Christmas, but as the air is not being stirred up by anything, it will still be cold on the surface. Mostly dry again, and once more we see cold temperatures predicted. There will be significant overnight frost, maybe freezing fog as well with this. New Year's Eve, Saturday 21st of December, takes that high pressure wave to the east somewhat, starts to pull up from the southeast. That's still coming in off the continent though, so still cold with the upper air temperatures overall. Notice Eastern Europe plunged into a freezer, by the way, after Christmas. So big freeze there from Russia down in towards the Balkans and whatnot. Mostly dry again on New Year's Eve, and a cold New Year's Eve as well, with temperatures again in the south only around 2 or 3 degrees, in central northern areas not getting much above freezing, and there would of course be very significant overnight frost. And then that is how things look on New Year's Day. This is midnight on New Year's Day, so as Big Ben chimes, high pressure still dominating weather, winds pulling in from off the continent. So a very cold New Year's Eve predicted here on the GFS run, with a widespread and locally quite severe frost potentially. And New Year's Day itself, again, anticyclonic high pressure wave to the east, pulling in wind from off the continent. So it's a mostly dry New Year's Day, and it's cold with temperatures not getting much above freezing in most areas. Right, so the GFS has taken a turn towards cold. Cold starts on Christmas Day. Before that in the north, but more widely cold starts to set in on Christmas Day. And that takes us through a very cold Christmas to New Year. Christmas week looking really cold on that. GFS run. Not much snow because high pressure is dominating, so not really much precipitation, but it's certainly, a cold, frosty update this, and quite a turn up of the book, isn't it? After all those mild CFS runs that we had before I went to New York. Well, we're probably going to do one more Christmas update for you. I would imagine that's going to be around, maybe it's just one GFS run, so it might be an outlier or something. It might not finish up anywhere near as cold as this looks. So let's just wait and see. Other models are not as cold as this, and you'll see about in today's 10 to 14 day. Right, so we'll probably do one more Christmas update around Wednesday or Thursday for that, I would have thought, and then we'll probably knock it on the head. A little bit short and miss you. We normally do around 24, 25, but it's a little bit short and miss you because I went away for that week, so that's the reason. So, yes, one more Christmas update, then we'll knock it on the head. Of course, there will be a weekend broadcast on Christmas Eve as well, though. So there's still plenty, to go. We're going to be back later on with your 10 to 14 day. That will include all operating features for this 15th Christmas update. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much to Richard for our gifts. And, I shall see you a little bit later on for our 10 to 14 day. And also, not forgetting live stream. For this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.